In late 1995, as Aerosmith began work on their next album, their first since returning to their original label Columbia Records for a reported $30 million, little did they know the trials and tribulations that were awaiting them in seeing this record through. It was to be called 9 Lives, and sometimes you get the feeling that Aerosmith went through that many just to get it done. The first sign for many that '96 would be an unconventional year for the band came when Aerosmith headed off to a new environment, the sun-drenched beaches of Miami, with a new, and some would say surprising choice for a producer, Glenn Ballard, of Alanis Morissette renown.
What sold me with Glenn Ballard is that we went and wrote with him in Joe's basement, and he brought some loops and some rhythm things, and I immediately had camaraderie with him because I would throw him a tune. He was like a drift net of music, and he would just catch it.
When you're in love with a man of the darkness, and then you're afraid of the light.
It was more about getting somebody that we felt was a musical soulmate and had our vision as far as, taking us to another place. And we felt that Glenn was that person.
But Aerosmith's Miami work immediately ran into a snag when severe depression forced drummer Joey Kramer to suddenly bail out on the sessions.
I was all set and all rehearsed to go down and do the songs, and the cumulative effect of my dad passing the year and a half or so before and some other things that had come up for me kind of threw me into a really deep depression.
We had this meeting where, Glenn, he said, look, we've got to start, and, I figured, okay, well, we'll start, we'll use a drum machine, and then Joey will come back into it. But it was felt that we really needed to cut tracks with a live drummer.
So we had Steve Ferroni on drums, and it was just a different animal.
We did it in a very different, more methodical, very digital way than we've done it in the past.
Glenn was smart enough to have all this outboard gear and ADATs in the hotel room in Florida. So when I walked in, can you do this? Oh, no problem. Can you do this? Yeah, it's already done. Watch. What kind of effect do you want? What kind of keyboard sound do you want? What kind of this? So when I came with an idea like Kank, it just became alive just like that because we had the tools there. It wasn't, I'll get a tape recorder, who's got batteries?
An interesting and exciting process, but was it an Aerosmith record they were coming up with? Increasingly, band members and representatives from their record label began to feel the answer was no.
There were certain things that just weren't happening. It wasn't sounding right, but we weren't able to go, this is what it is.
It was pointed out to us that it didn't have the punch, with that feeling like you close your eyes and the band is sitting in front of you.
When Columbia finally, the Sony CBS people finally got up enough nerve to say, we don't like it. I went home and I listened to the songs in my little studio. Okay, what am I hearing? What am I hearing? And I went, I hear it. This does not sound like an Aerosmith record. It sounded like a Huey Lewis record.
If this is it, please let me know. Kiss your past goodbye.
And at that point we could have turned around and said, no, we're going to go with the stuff from Miami. But I think that there was enough of a doubt in us to want to take a look at it and take another shot.
Aerosmith is this band that rocks, so you got to know that there's certain people that think that if you with that, it may be the kiss of death for Aerosmith.
Adding fuel to this particular fire were growing personal problems between Steven Tyler, who by his own admission had completely immersed himself in work with Ballard, and the band's longtime manager, Tim Collins. Those differences in turn led to rumors of a possible band breakup.
Making a record, pulling something out of thin air puts everybody through a lot of changes.
It was just basically communication and issues that went on personally between, the 5 of us.
The emotional climate of this band is extremely volatile. It's just up and down. There's a lot of arguing, there's a lot of fighting, there's a lot of commitment.
When you're in a marriage, it's just 2 people. This is a marriage with 5, so the problems are that much more complex.
To work out the communication breakdown within the band, Aerosmith checked themselves into a California counseling center. The result? Misunderstandings were ironed out, and Collins was fired. Soon after, he went to the press with the allegation that Tyler frontman for a band to which sobriety has meant so much, was using drugs again.
You know, we were standing around looking at each other going, I can't believe he said that stuff. You know, we were just like blown away, you know, like, you know, just the stuff he said and to the press and, you know, the way he went out. I mean, he could have dealt with it a whole different way.
Anybody that knows me or Aerosmith knows that the kind of drugs that I used to do, I would have been incapable to write the songs that are on this record.
There's a cockroach in my coffee. There's a needle in my arm. And I feel like New York City.
Having worked through their interpersonal and personnel problems, Aerosmith, rejoined by Joey Kramer, refocused on the album, and little by little re-recorded all the 9 Lives tracks, this time in New York, working with no-nonsense hard rock producer Kevin Shirley.
Kevin's the quintessential, you know, hard rock producer in that he knows how to get the energy on tape.
It was really good with Kevin because Kevin put us in the studio and let us record as a band.
This was like going back to the old days. Just, you know, 24 tracks, all we need, and bingo.
So we went in for, you know, the first week, and we started hearing some guitar sounds that were really kicking our asses.
We ended up getting an amazing sound out of the first one, and then the second one, and the third one, and then, you know, we just let it go.
I think that we did the right thing. I think it's a better sounding album, I think, than what it would have been.
I'm glad everything went the way it did. I think that it had to go that way. Because we may not have gotten a song like Kiss Your Past Goodbye. We may not have gotten a song like Falling in Love is Hard on the Knees, you know, if it had gone another way.
Steve and Joe and Glenn wrote some incredible music together. And they do have that chemistry. And I think there's a lot of chemistry there. There's just kind of a sonics thing and the energy thing wasn't quite right.
Not to say what they did down there or anything they did down there was wrong or bad, because it sounded great. It just didn't sound like Aerosmith.
I thought that we were really onto something a little different. And maybe that's the fight that's going to keep me alive and want to create. In fact, I know it is, because I'm a fighter. You know, but I saw something there. I saw something there.